Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario RPG. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode we finished up Moleville and Booster Pass, and in today's episode, first things first, we're heading back to Booster Pass to go and get a hidden chest that we missed, right there, for a rock candy. Rock candy, I think I've already mentioned, does an absurd amount of damage to enemies, and by absurd I mean like, 200? Something like that. It's either that or 100, and I'm pretty sure it's 200 damage, so it does a lot of damage, and you should hang on to it for emergencies. But anyway, now that we've taken care of that, we are going to start this episode strong with a visit to Booster Tower. Let's go!
Booster is such a nice place. I miss my fortress. I miss the good old days. Toadstool screaming in terror, Mario rushing in to save her. Oh jeez, it's Mario! Oops. Okay. Calm down. Don't let him see you like this. Hey, how have you been? No, not like that, dummy! Wrong tone. It needs more confidence. You! What are you doing here? If Toadstool were at my castle waiting to be rescued, she'd be crying like a baby.
Oh? Did I just hear some voices? It couldn't be. I can't believe it. It's Mario. Mario! I'm up here!
That voice! It's Toadstool! I thought she got away, but she's been stuck here! Well, I guess I'll be returning to my castle now. Out of my way, shorty!
Well then, that was very, very impolite, Bowser. But okay, now that he's off on his way, it's time for us to head in. It's locked. It's still locked, and it seems that we are unable to get in. Well,
What? You're still here? That look on your face. I get it now. Out of my way, shorty. Yeah, I'm a piece of work, ain't I? All this power, and looks too. I know, you're thinking, a big strong like him would be great to have along, right? I'm gonna do something I may regret later. I'll let you join the Koopa Troop. You can thank me later.
Mario and his friends have joined the Koopa Troop, or so they're pretending. Bowser joins the group. This is probably my favorite moment in the whole game when you get Bowser into your party. Yeah, we don't need an explanation on how to switch allies. So basically, because Mario RPG only allows a party of like 3 people, you need to switch somebody out for Bowser. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be switching out Mallow because we've had him the longest. We are going to be using his special to heal up if we can get over to him. Okay, so we can't use the special of somebody who's not in the party. That's great. That's really great. Well, Gino's all healed up, so he'll be fine, whatever. Anyway, now we have Bowser in the party, and this was like the most mind-blowing moment of the game for me when I was a kid. I'll talk about it more, but first, we're entering Booster's Tower, which has this really relaxing music playing, and we're gonna talk to Sniffet number 1. Hello there. Booster's busy right now, so he can't play. Come back some other time, or you can try to force your way in. And that initiates a fight with Sniffet number 1. Which, as we can see, we have Bowser in the middle of our party where he belongs. This is, like, so very exciting. The Sniffet enemies are quite powerful. They have a substantial amount of HP, somewhere in the realm of, like, 200. I think it's straight up 200. Bowser's muted, but that's no big deal. He has a special, but we're not going to be seeing it yet. Bowser in your party is specifically powerful for the sheer muscle he brings to the party. He is definitely supposed to be the highest attacker in your group. This kind of fades off later, sadly, but the thing about Bowser is even though he does level off later, he is very high stats naturally. He doesn't get a lot of armor or weapons throughout the game, which is disappointing. But what he does get and what he does have, well, they just kind of augment his already naturally really high stats, which makes sense. He's a final boss character. He's going to have naturally high stats. We are, however, going to be giving him those work pants we got earlier. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I want... Excuse me. I want Bowser to feel like a powerful character. And we're not going to be fighting these guys because, oh sure, let's fight one. But yeah, I want him to feel strong, because he is supposed to be the strong party member. He's supposed to be the strongest, and I want him to actually embody that. So let's see how he does now. 100 damage. Wow, he does a ton of damage. And this was just probably my favorite moment in the game growing up, as I said, because back then, the idea of getting to play as Bowser was something you could only really dream of, because Bowser was just... Well, he's Bowser. He was the villain. You were never supposed to really get to play as him. And just the idea that the Mario RPG allowed him to put you in his party, it was exciting and awesome. Anyway, his magic sucks, but we're going to show it off anyway. So this is Terrorize. You kind of push the control pad in circular rotations. It's not bad against the orb users, who are very resistant to physical attacks. Most of the enemies in Booster's Tower are weak to magic as opposed to... They're weak to magic as opposed to physical attacks. And now that we killed one of those spookums, this other one goes and hides in the corner. We are terrible people. We're gonna leave them there. So, yeah. Yeah, this was an exciting time, and even today, getting to play as Bowser outside of the spin-off sport games is pretty much a premium. So it always feels good to get to play as the big main man Bowser. So I like it. We're gonna jump on the orb user. So I'm glad to have him in the party. He definitely works better with Mallow, and I'm actually probably gonna put Mallow back in because we don't need two physical attackers. Sorry, Gino, but Mallow's going back in the party. It's okay, though, because, as it turns out, party members who aren't in the party still get to use... they still get experience, and that's what's important. Now, what you want to do when you come up here is memorize all of these pictures, these 7... Oh, hey, Wario, by which I mean Booster hiding behind the wall. You want to remember these, so, you kind of want to try and remember these in sets of 3, I think, is the best way to remember it, and that will make your life a bit easier, so, yeah. It'll be important later, so you kind of want to keep it in mind. Anyway, we're coming up here, and we're going to be nearing our first hidden block. And here we have a fight with a new enemy, Remocon. This thing is terrifying. Anyway, we're going to be using the Terrorize again, even though I said it's not that good. To begin with, it's useful. It inflicts fear on enemies, which lowers their physical attack and defense, and it doesn't do bad damage to begin with, but later on, Bowser's magic is expensive and pretty garbage, particularly compared to the other people's magic, so you don't really have a reason to use it otherwise. But yeah, we can see he's already doing... Oh my. What's the big rush? I'm Booster, and this is my famous tower of amusement. Normally I welcome visitors to play with me and my sniffets. However, a girl fell out of the sky and into my lap recently. Since then, I've been busy keeping her happy and entertained. I no longer have the time to play, so please enjoy yourself. At your own risk, that is. And now the main music for Booster Tower has begun. This music track is awesome, and hey, where'd he go? Oh, you get back here, Booster. You think you can sneak away? Oh. Please refrain from bouldering, Booster. So that was a really cool way they could hide an encounter in a way that you would naturally chase Booster off the screen, and yeah. I don't know if you've gathered yet, but this is probably the best sequence in the game, if not the best sequence in the game. It's one of the best, to say the least. It has a lot of charm, a lot of great writing that we're going to be seeing as it comes, and it has a good aesthetic. It has weird enemies, admittedly, but it has great music both in the intro to Booster's Tower and in the main section. But anyway, Sniffets, as you can see, are very powerful compared to the normal Spookums, because again, they have 200 HP a pop, and they're just tough. They are tough cookies. I want cookies. But if you come down here and down that path, there is nothing. So yeah, Booster escapes, and somewhere around here is a hidden chest. Okay, after checking my sources, there it is. Right there. It's never like really right in the corner. It's usually just off by a slight bit. And we found a flower tap too, which let's see if we have the items to put that on there. And okay, we are good. Actually, a popular way to play this game, from what I hear, is if you want a challenge, it's like an only Bowser run. And here we have new enemies to fight. These aren't Bob-Bombs. These are Raw-Bombs in a really weird formation. So that's really strange looking, actually. But they do offer defense up. They essentially operate the same as normal Bob-Bombs. You probably noticed in Booster Pass with the Spikesters, the green Spinies, is when the game starts using palette swaps. And they're also present here, mainly in the Apprentice, in the Spookums, and not the Apprentice, but the Spookums and the Snippets, and now these Raw-Bombs that we see. Geno reaches level 8, even though he's not in the party, learns Geno Boost. Geno Boost is a stat-up attack, or not an attack, rather, it's an ability, because attacks don't up your stats normally, and we get into a fight with another Raw-Bomb. Oh, it's a single Raw-Bomb. In that case, we can take care of that. And he pops. But yes, Bowser is a fantastic character in the party if you're willing to put up with the fact that he is the weakest character you'll be getting overall. I see you, Booster! Well, we're not going to be following him just yet, because we want to come in here, back to the nice music area, where there's a chest there, and you can jump for it, and you can totally miss what I was going for. I'll be right back. And there we go. We got ourselves a masher, which is a new kind of hammer. Well, that took a moment to happen. But Mario's okay, because anything that happens in the overworld doesn't really damage Mario. Let's just use an HP rain on Mario since we're in here anyway and equip that new hammer on Mario. Even though he just got the Punch Glove not that long ago, the masher is a massive increase in his attack, like up to 98. In fact, I think that puts him over what Bowser's attack stat is. But, oh, actually, the stats in here don't show you what you are with your equipment. The stats screen only shows your natural stats, and here you can totally see Bowser's stats are completely huge compared to everybody else's. So that's cool to look at. He has crap magic attack, though, as I've said, but his defense and attack is huge. Again, he levels off later, but the advantage of Bowser is the fact that through the end, up into the end, he does stay a good physical tank. His HP is always high, and he has the highest HP by far, and he always maintains a really high defense, so that's nice to have. He can take hits. Not magic hits, though. He can die pretty easily to magic hits if you're not careful. But anyway, we find a button here, and that will do something in Booster Pass, but we'll be checking that out a little bit later. Not yet, we'll be checking that out as said later. And you go behind this curtain in this room, and oh my. Mario, this is a terrible fate you have met. Actually, this is a pretty very popular Easter egg that's happened in the Super Mario RPG franchise. Not the Super Mario RPG franchise, but in the Paper Marios in particular. There's always an Easter egg in those games where if you find a certain area and go behind a curtain or something, you'll turn into a retro Mario, and they kind of preserved that from this game. If you try to leave, though, Mario panics, and he has to go back to the curtain. And he is completely floored by this experience. You can't do that again, which is probably for the best, because that was really strange. Really, really strange. But anyway, we're just gonna keep going on through here. And we have another new enemy type. That is a Jester. Jesters are, well, they're pretty much what you would expect from Jesters. We're gonna keep using Terrorize because it's actually useful at this time, and it's a good hit-all attack for the time being, again, and it can inflict fear, which again is a useful technique. And actually scares them away. Actually, I don't think it's supposed to do that, I just think that the Spookums have a chance of running away as it is. So let's try out Mario's new masher. 70 damage, very good. Very, very good. That Jester, though, is kind of creepy looking. Wild Card, I'm not sure how much damage it does. The Jester has a set of moves that are based also off of hands you can get in poker, and that determines how much damage they can do. Originally, the Jester had a move called Royal Flush, which was removed because it was deemed way too powerful, because it just put a massive multiplier on its normal attack that was a little ridiculous. And there's a Sniffet shooting bullet bills at us, and if you fight the bullet bill, you actually fight a blaster, which is not a bullet bill at all. This is ridiculous and silly. Bill blasters, as you can probably guess, have very high physical defense, but very low magic defense, so that's a good thing to use against them. And we scared the Spookum away also. Blaster. Otherwise, there's not much to say about the Bill Blasters because they're exactly what they look like. They're Bill Blasters, and they will shoot a character in the face for decent damage, and the timing on it is really weird, though. Like, really weird. And of course, they give a defense up. Usually the flowers you get from enemies usually have something to do with their stats, or maybe not. Maybe I just made that up. I'm not entirely sure, but it's just something that seems like it would stand to reason.
You wanna fight?
And we have found the third Sniffet to fight and beat up and take care of. And he has silenced Bowser and done 1 point of damage. No big deal, because Bowser, as we know, is super strong and does a lot of damage, even without a weapon. Remember, Bowser doesn't have a weapon yet, even if Mario is now doing a lot more damage than he did. Blizzard, we haven't seen this yet. The Sniffets are much more powerful mages than their Spookum counterparts. I say that as it does, like, barely any damage to our party. We're actually pretty standard level for this part in the game. As you saw when we arrived here, we got Bowser at level 8, and everybody else was level 8, except for Geno, who's level 7. So this is what the game expects you to be at. So, yeah. The magic from the enemies won't get super threatening until later, except for Static E, which is just incredibly powerful as it is. But anyway, we've reached a save point in our journey, so I think that's going to make a good stopping point for this episode. A good hike up Booster's Tower. In today's episode, we got Bowser. We hiked up Booster's Tower. We made good progress, but in the next episode, we're going to be finishing it up. So if you want to see how the rest of Booster's Tower pans out, then I just hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye!